Okay, let me start the sound effects here. So we're going to go to waiting for the streams to start. This is a very classy show. One more to go. We are on LinkedIn. We are waiting for YouTube. Here we go. Okay. See, it works some days. So you want to be a cool kid. You can dance with me, Ryan. Hanging with the inset. Probably inset. Looking real. Cool and fine. Wait for the bridge. Here we go. Drum roll, please. Bop, 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 bop. Thank you very much. Those are my lyrics, and my good friend Serge Hoffman, who's a music composer in France, in Paris, wrote the music, and he does the singing. I'm Bonnie D. Happy to be here. This is one of my favorite shows. Well, they're all my favorite. Don't tell the others. We Dish Too, all in caps, T-O-O, Saucy Dame. I'm the Saucy Dame, and this I think I found a movie star. I've never met this gentleman before, but as soon as I met him about 12 and a half minutes ago, I said, "What movies have you been in, sir?" And he said, "Oh, I wish." Ryan M. Melsom, how are you and welcome?
Fantastic. Such a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
You are delightful to be here, and I appreciate that. And a shout out to our mutual connection, Mickey M. of Creative Edge PR, Mickey Mickelson. And I would like to introduce you with a little bit of a rhyme, and I'm going to tell your life story, and I hope you like it. If I get anything wrong, you'll be sure to tell us. Okay, let me make sure everything's
Yeah.
working. We're recording, we are streaming, everything is good. So here we go. You may know us well, Bonnie D. and author Ryan M. Melsom, too. Seasoned in life, we love what we do. From social channels, virtual embrace, we love sharing our insights in this special space. Now, here on We Dish, we're here to play, lightening up life in our uniquely fresh way. Welcoming Ryan M., a truly cool dude. Here's my rhyming intro. He'll add more later with attitude. Here we go. Born in Kamloops where sagebrush grows, as nature teems and a hot wind blows. Three cities meet in cultures wide. Young Ryan found the wild outside. Through cactus trails and summer heat, adventure danced beneath his feet. At 5, he saw E.T. on the screen take flight. Sci-fi sparked his soul just right. By 10, he sketched bold knights and swords with castles scrawled on spiral boards. No clue from where that passion grew, but books on armor filled his view. A mullet crowned his hair metal phase. With motley crew and poison plays, Ryan saved up cash from his paper route gigs to buy a BC rich guitar with poison digs. He restaurant cooked by day and rocked by night, but his new used car went poof, it was out of sight. Class president at school with sunny flair, he sang his theme and won with care. You Are My Sunshine had great appeal. A big new TV for the school sealed the deal. He launched El Beto Band, punk and proud, promoted shows. He drew a crowd. Flinch, how am I doing so far? Pretty good?
Beautiful. So amazing.
Okay. Oh, good. Flinch, his record demo with the Golden Skull tune, a Kamloops tale about a treasure hunt boon. They lost 2 battles of the bands, rigged, Ryan swore. But Ryan's spirit never hit the floor. He studied literature with zeal aware. At Caribou, then UVic with passion to spare. In Teakwood House with orchard fruits, he lived with friends in student roots. Ryan landscaped lawns and wrote a play for waxy ghouls on Halloween Day. Then backpacked east through hostile grace, and buses served as his sleeping space. An Elvis tale came next in line, a spirit guide with a fate divine. Ryan earned a master's degree, then PhD, exploring ends in a West Coast spree. In Kingston, love and family grew. 2 young sons are now part of his crew. Ryan tried startups and code on his own, built online dreams, but none had grown. Yet stories thrived in indie light. No generation, raw insight. Then came clickbait, searching his soul for meaning lost in the web's control. In 2020, fate took hold. Ryan shaped guidelines for engineers bold. A chance connection made him see a path to his future books to be. He trained in karate via Zoom's domain, earned his black belt through the pandemic strain. Stephen King's On Writing lit Ryan's fire. 1,000 words a day. Wow, inspire. 3 novels done and more to birth. New stories rising from the earth. Now in 2025's bright frame, Gods of a New World, he'll show us the cover soon, makes his name. Where moguls play at idols on high, and two brave souls give truth a try. This action packed, high stakes new quest shows Ryan's writing at his best. A Renaissance soul with a rebel's art, he questions the rules and he breaks them apart. Ryan sees what's cliche, then flips the script with wit, with heart, imagination well equipped. So please meet Ryan M., cool dude, writer and sage, turning punk, prose, and passion onto the page. What'd you think?
That was beautiful. Oh my God. That was incredible.
I'm glad.
Nicely done. And you turn that, I don't know if your viewers know, but you turned that around in like a week. Like that was
Uh, it takes a couple days. I worked on this for several days. I did, and
yeah, the
yeah,
show.
I have to finish it now. So join us here. We're here on We Dish, chatting on life score, culture, music, food, and oh, so much more. Join us live or on demand, day or night. We won't be here. That's why they invented on demand. And enjoy our dishing with shared delight. Meet us for real in our live streaming glow. Your comments are welcome. Just play nice. We know who you are, you know? We dish, two saucy dame and cool dude too. Bonnie D and Ryan M. Dishing on life's fun. Poor Vu. So, welcome, Ryan M. I'm so glad you liked it. I'll tell you who helped me. I had a collaborator with that, but I went back through the bio you sent me over and over and over again, and there were just parts that didn't come out right. Even this morning, an hour ago, I was tweaking a couple of those
Oh,
sections, the
wow.
one on the punk. So I'm glad you enjoyed. Did we leave anything out? Is there anything else you would like to add?
I mean, I could just go on and on, but no, that is a wonderful overview. I mean, I think like for me, one thing that like I this is my first time doing publicity for anything, when I got my book, I promised that I would show it. So there it is. And
Yes. Hold it right under your face. There we go. Gods of a New World. We can see it.
and
Beautiful.
it just comes out. It's actually today is the release date. So,
Oh, hold on. Let me see if I have an applause track. Hold on. Let's see if we can get. Here we go. Hold on.
yeah, there it is.
Yay, Ryan! Okay, I just added sound effects last week and I'm having a lot of fun with them. So pardon me if I throw them in. There you go. So, how exciting is it to launch your first book?
Yeah, it's a thrill. So like I've always been like that. That's what I was saying. Like with this publicity thing, like it's like I've always been DIY, started my punk band with my friends and we put on shows and I tried a whole bunch of different businesses and stuff like that. It was always just me trying to like carry this whole thing. And so it was very exciting. This time I have a publisher, this incredible guy I met named Edward Willett, and he's from, and he's just he's been awesome. And it's really cool to have people in your corner. Like that's the thing that amazes me. Like DIY is great, built some good chops that way, but wow, it's amazing to people
Wonderful.
rooting, and when you benefit, they benefit, and it becomes this
Yep.
nice,
And
amazing
I
thing.
met I've known your publicist, Mickey Mickelson from
Yeah,
Creative Edge PR for a
it's been
couple of
incredible.
years. And
Yeah.
he sends me a lot of authors, mostly sci-fi. That's his niche. That's his wheelhouse. And you're scheduled to be on my Read My Lips Cool Conversations with Creatives Roundtable, I think the last day of October. However, I took a look at your bio you sent me and I said, that's a cool dude. And I invited you to do that. I said, I don't want to wait till October. We got to get you on the air
A lot
sooner.
of
So
pressure there. I don't know.
there you go. There you go. So let's talk a little bit about one of my favorite topics, music. Music that you enjoy, that music that defines you, music that has accompanied you along your long and interesting ride, all the routes and roots. I don't know how you say it in Canada, the roots or the roots or the boots. I'm sorry, that's probably somebody else's accent, not mine. Uh, music that has mattered to you or just makes you happy. So what are some of your favorites? Or tell a story. Go ahead.
Gosh, okay. So I had to think about this for a long time because I went kind of chronological, biographical here. So stop me if I'm going way too far on it. But okay, so you mentioned in the incredible poem that you began with, Poison. So my first song is Every Rose has its thorn. That's like a classic Poison song, just as amazing, beautiful, heartbreaking. The power ballads, they were just so good in the 80s there. And I was going through my first love? I don't know, but anyway. But when that song was out and that became an integral part of it, and then of course it's a breakup song, so it also became an integral part of that. Sadly, things didn't last, but or maybe not sadly, but anyway. Uh, from there, I went to a song called "Hey" by the Pixies. So the Pixies are one of my favorite bands of all time, and they're like just this amazing kind of, they always stayed somewhat underground, but they're just like, I love their energy. They weave in all kinds of just classical themes and just fascinating, weird, fiery music. So this song called "Hey" is about, it's really about the distance between people and trying to get through these barriers that society puts up in our place and really connect and have real kind of genuine connection. It's like, "Hey, been trying to meet you," is the line, it's
I
like
love it.
to meet
I
this
love it.
person. The person's standing right in front of them. So
I have to go listen to it. I'll find it. Hey,
yeah,
I've noticed on some TV shows, mostly
yeah,
sitcoms, people walk in a room and the first thing they say is, "Hey."
yeah, yeah.
Sometimes it's in the script so many times. If you just tuned out everything else, it's just "Hey, hey, 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 hey." It's just a bunch of people saying "Hey." I've noticed this, so I didn't know there was a song named that. Go
It-
ahead. I like your
well,
songs. Go ahead.
no, but yeah, and it's kind of fascinating to say that because I was incredibly lucky and I got to go to France last month, like first time ever, and I walked into businesses, and when I did something I just started ordering, that's sort of what I do at home. It's very functional, like, can I have a coffee, please? But when I didn't say bonjour, French equivalent of hey, then wow, the tone completely changed. So I learned like it's really important to take a pause, say hello, and then you do the business after that. But just have that moment. So there you go. Those French, they know things. I'm still learning them.
Very interesting. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. When I speak with people in French and I have a somebody on the internet, I we talk in French all the time. We write hers is much better than mine. I'll tell you later about her. But I
Yeah.
always say bonjour.
Yeah.
Always. I always write bonjour. The
Yeah.
first thing I write, and I say merci, and I also send her mille bisous. Do you know what that is?
Mille bisous, a thousand something, thousand.
Kisses, a thousand kisses. Yes, yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
sort
Mille
of know.
bisous. Oh, yes. Okay. So anyway, all right. So go ahead. So
Uh,
more songs. I love your
yeah.
songs.
Oh, okay. So the next one, also mentioned in the intro poem there. So, song called "Golden Skull," a critical piece of my own personal development. So my incredibly successful punk band that you've never heard about from what that I was in high school. uh, we sang a song called "Golden Skull," and it was a local favorite. I wouldn't say it ever made it beyond the valley that I grew up in, but anyway, but it's about a treasure hunt and just sort of just had a real feel of like the city, the town that I grew up in, and saw this old map at the local shopping mall and stuff like that. Everybody could picture the mall because they've all been.
Really nice. I didn't know people had songs like that. You got some
Yeah.
more? I like your songs.
Okay, so next we go on to there's a song called Alien 8, number 8, by a band called Lagwagon. So one thing that I did grow up, like Kamloops is like a valley. It was like about 70,000 people, and it was a absolutely beautiful, safe, like kind of almost like a heaven to grow up in. Like it was just incredible summers there, nice, dry, hot heat. I like the heat. Some people don't, but anyway. So this song Alienate, and by this band Lagwagon, they put out an album. They'd had several albums, and my punk friends and I listened to them around that time. And this one was important to me because this album I bought, I remember buying it at the CD store and I had my Discman and I was feeling like Kamloops was getting a little small for me. And so what I did for several years, it took me a while to work up to it, is I walked around and I listened to this CD and a bunch of other CDs at that time. But this one was instrumental. Like I bought the CD, I didn't really listen, like I still hung out with my friends, but I felt like I was trying to build something. I didn't really have a picture. Hey, there
There
you
you go. See, okay. Forgive me. I just thought that I was looking and say, what can I do now? Okay, that's really cool. That's really cool. Got more?
Yeah, I got two more, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can be quick here. So there's one called "There's So Much Energy in Us" by Cloud Cult. This is just a beautiful song, this sort of epic song. The video goes right from like the beginning of life and all of it changing throughout this massive, all the way to the kind of the end of history. But it's just this beautiful song. But so the first year that I was married, my wife lived in a city that was about 1,000 kilometers 700 and something miles away from me. So I had to
Ooh.
drive 10 hours to visit her because she was doing an internship for her job and I was teaching at a university there. So this was this band Cloud Cult. I listened to their CDs over and over and over and it's just this there's something about like that's just beautiful about the song because it's like I think sometimes we can sort of get, I guess, caught up in routines or like feeling like our life is just, this teeny tiny box and this stuff. And this is like actually this idea that we just are like so full of like this history and this energy and this aliveness that like, just teems at the surface. And so it's all about that and sort of like in this constant sort of moving forward excitement. So it was just really embedded itself in my brain during that year of driving back and forth. And I loved the drive. Fortunately, it was a beautiful drive and not an ugly one. So,
Nice.
and then the last one is a song called Wheat Kings by Canada's very own Tragically Hip. It was just this. Yeah, they're just a staple of Canadian kind of rock music as I was growing up. And so when I drove with my son, he was 3.5, drove out to Ottawa where I live now, and that we were it's about like the first line is sundown on the Paris of the prairies, which is
Ooh.
just it's just a beautiful song. It's kind of heartbreaking and all this stuff, but anyway, we stopped the car and we're looking out over this huge golden plain and there's this like purple thunderstorm in the sky. It was just a absolutely majestic moment. So I cranked it up, and me and my 3.5 year old listened to this song and just took in a moment there. And and now I've been living in Ottawa for 8 years, but that was just yeah, the first we saw their last
Aw.
concert. Unfortunately, the singer died from brain cancer, but he
Hmm.
performed like right until the end, and he was gappy and he couldn't. But like, there's so much energy in us, right? Like
Hmm.
he loved performing. His music was incredible. He was such a poet, and so Gord Downey, and so yeah, so we got to take that in as a sort of bookend. But anyway,
That's a lovely
that's my six
memory.
songs.
Thank
I'm
you
still working
so
on some
much.
Ottawa ones, but
That's very, very cool. I'm open to learning about music through my guests, and very often my guests bring songs I've never heard of, music that I might want to listen to, but I learn about your journey. I know that's a very corny word these days, but your path, your journey, how you got from point A to point B in your life, and the things we remember along the
Mhm.
way. But music is our companion, isn't it? And it's also
Yeah,
our choreographer, and it's also it helps to document the script of who we are and where we're going. I'm getting a little bit mushy here. I'm
yeah,
going to give you some of my songs.
yeah.
I don't know if you know any of this music, but I was a dance teacher for a while. I've had about, I think I'm on my ninth career now. And the discography that describes my path would be all along Cyndi Lauper's Girls Just Want to Have Fun. You know that one.
Love it.
A little bit of rebellious here. Leslie Gore's You Don't Own Me, You Don't Own Me. And I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar by Helen Reddy. I think she was a Canadian. There you go. Janis Joplin, Me and Bobby McGee. That was her 1971 anthem. Too long, too late, too long, too sad she left us so long. But the line from that, and I'll let you react to this, is freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose.
Uh,
What do you think?
yeah, I mean, that definitely hits home. So like, if yeah, I connect with it so much. All these times that you are like that I've changed my identity or had to transform my identity, and it's just yeah, these amazing moments, and they're not all like the happiest moments, but like
Yep.
once you let go, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's just beautiful. I love it.
Good. I'm glad. And then I'm a very big fan of the late, wonderful, beautiful Donna Summer of
Uh-huh.
the disco era. I was teaching disco at the time and doing some exhibition
We could teach
dancing with a
listening.
professional partner. Sure. I was teaching line dances and hustle and Latin dances, cha-cha, and what we used to call, I think it was called salsa back, and it was called mambo before it was called salsa.
Okay.
And Donna Summer's list of songs, Ryan, her discography is pretty much along my life. She works hard for the money.
Yeah.
Hot Stuff, which was about streetwalkers in San Francisco, but I have been called Hot Stuff, but I've never worked the streets of San Francisco. You can not fill in the blanks. Thank you. On the radio, I've been doing this. I still call this radio. I've been doing this for about 25 years now. Oh my, not that long. Yes, that long. No More Tears. Enough is enough. That's another. I've had enough, and I'm gonna come out okay, swinging on the other side. Last Dance. Well, I don't dance professionally anymore, but I dance in my kitchen, and I have room, and that's really cool.
As one should.
Thank you. And I feel love also another Donna Summer disco hit. And Heaven Knows from her version of the MacArthur Park Suite,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
was a 26-minute song. And my dance partner Michael and I performed this in a disco Hawaii contest at the Copacabana nightclub in Eugene, Oregon. I won't tell you the year, but we made homemade costumes, and I was 97 pounds, and I had, I think, stockings with a line up the back, with a seam up the back, and a little blue top, and a skirt that was satin that opened all the way up. It tied at the waist, and it was a 360 circle. It didn't close. So when he spun me up over his head and then down the death drop to the floor and spun me, the skirt made a complete circle above, 6 inches above the floor. And we came in third. We didn't know that the woman who came in first owned her own dance studio. We thought it was an amateur. We didn't know it was a pro-am contest. Anyway, and then a couple of more, one and another theme, I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor. And the one I like the best is New Attitude by Patti LaBelle. I got a new attitude, and I've had to do that many, many times over. So those are my songs. Let's go to the
Love it.
off the top segment of the show now. I'm going to pose some topics. I'm not going to ask questions. Pose a topic, and you'll go first, and then I'll go. So let's start out with number one, start of the day. What powers you? A drink, a food? I don't usually put it this way, exercise. What is it that gets you started? And then I'll tell you what gets me started at the beginning of the day. Go ahead.
Yeah. So there, whenever possible, I have kind of a nice little wake up, find my peace kind of routine. So, massive cup of coffee, usually like a 16-ounce cup of coffee, sitting there with me. And then I'll spend a little bit of time. I do like a Japanese lesson. I've just been learning, trying to pick up the language and, learning it for a few years now. My streak is at 855 days on Duolingo. So it's coming along. Anyway, so I'll do a bit of that and then I'll journal usually by hand. I spend all my day on screens typing, and so it's really nice that like physical tactile sensation of like writing. And I really try to be honest with myself where I'm at. If I'm excited about something that day, great. If I'm feeling like really tired or didn't get the best sleep, I'll be honest about that and just really try to like get my consciousness right where my kind of body and physical is. And then usually I go from there.
That is really cool. Do you have breakfast? Do you have something after the coffee, or you're just
I
good with
I usually
16?
I usually when I get hungry, which is typically like 10:30, 11, somewhere around there. So yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I start out my day looking at my phone to make sure if I have any early shows. I'm doing 7 shows this week, and I don't start usually before 10 o'clock in the morning. So I get up, I don't know, sometimes 5 or 6, sometimes 7, and that 7:30 is my limit. Absolutely. 7:27 is the alarm, whether I'm awake or not. Get up out of bed. And then I turn off the house alarm. I shouldn't say this publicly, and turn off the outside lights and the
The
couple
code
lights.
number is no kidding.
Uh, you sly dog, you. And then I head for the little personal drink maker, my little Hamilton Beach. It's about 12 ounces in a cup, and there's a pulse. You don't turn it on, you pulse it, you push it.
Oh,
And
interesting.
I put in about 8 ounces of 1% milk. And
Uh-huh.
then I add sometimes a little sprinkle of cinnamon, and I add some sliced frozen unsweetened strawberries. And then
Uh-huh.
I add a banana. I buy 9 bananas a week, and I have to make sure they're not too ripe but not too green so that they last the whole week. So I'll
Uh-huh.
put a small banana in, and then the frozen strawberries, keep it cold. If I'm really, really in a feeling like a bad saucy dude, saucy dame, I'll add a little vanilla ice cream, but I try not to. And then I add a squirt of raw agave syrup, which is
Okay.
instead of sugar. That's my sweet. I can't do fake sugar, fake sucralose. I think I'm allergic to them. They last 48 hours in the back of my throat. I taste
Oh
them
my God.
forever. So I do that, and then I blend it a couple times, and I count boop, 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 7, and then I'll blend it and a little more until I'm pretty convinced that the strawberries have blended properly. And then I take the plastic lid off, and I put my reusable, freshly washed straw into it, and I bring it to my office, and I start my day. And that's how I do it. So
That's lovely.
yeah, I'll
Is
send
it,
you the
you said
recipe.
7? Is there like a specific reason why 7? Is that like a good luck number or something like that?
Yes. When did I say seven? Did I
When
say
you
seven?
pulse it 7 times,
Well,
and then maybe if you.
there's a joke to that. I named
Okay.
my grandpuppies Amos Lee and Jake Joseph, and I'll say Amos Lee because when they're here and they visit, Jake is the barker, and he will bark. And if their mommy and daddy, my daughter and her husband, leave to go to a store or something, Amos will sit at the door if we leave the front door open, and he'll go. "Mm," and he'll whine a little bit. So I count seven Amos Lee, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Jake Joseph, 1, 2, 3. It's just a little trick, and that way I'm thinking about them. I'm just thinking about them. So I didn't realize I said that. Okay, the secret's out. So that's my start for the day. Let's go to another topic and save me here. I do quickly want to know about your coffee because I want to know 16 ounces is a lot. Do you brew it? Is it from a pod? Is it from old-fashioned drip machine, a French press? How do you make your coffee? Just curious.
Yeah, yeah. So this is a refined technique that over the years. It's got to be just right. So I'm not a coffee snob. I will drink any like truck stop coffee, nothing like that. But like for my coffee, when I have control over the situation, definitely. So I drink it black always, unless I know it's gonna be a really bad coffee, then I might put a little cream in it. I use a French press, so I make it for my wife and I in the morning, and we both get our big cups and go off to our separate quiet places and enjoy that. And yeah, we used to actually order like a box, so we would go through 9 pounds of coffee a month.
You're
Uh,
talking beans or already ground?
Beans, yeah, beans,
Beans.
yeah. So we used
Okay.
to order like 9 sort of bags of 1 pound bags of beans every month, but sadly our supplier,
Oh,
they got complicated. So yeah,
that's a
we're still
polite
trying to
way to say
find.
it.
That's the one piece of the equation that's maybe not kind of perfected right at the moment, but
What
that's
what flavor beans? Can you share that with us?
just like I like a good solid dark roast. That's all.
Okay. Me
Yeah.
too. I can't do caffeine anymore, but
Yeah,
nothing
less
like a
caffeine, yeah. Not
good
acidic. It's got to
I
be like kind of rich and maybe naturally
oh,
sweet. That's like the
yes.
ideal, yeah.
Absolutely. Nothing in it. Just give it to me plain. Yes, I'm a peppermint tea girl now. So
Yeah.
that's it. So let's
Love
oh
it.
wait a minute now. I think we might have an interruption here. Hold on 1 second. I think I hear oh my goodness gracious. 1 second here. Whoa, what can I find this? Give me a second here. Okay, let's do this. Oh my goodness. I didn't have it turned on. Okay, let me see who is it. Okay. Oh, goodness gracious. Ryan, hold on. Steven Spielberg? You know I'm talking to Ryan Melsom? Okay. Quentin Tarantino? Christopher Nolan? Guy Ritchie? Zemeckis? Francis Ford Coppola? Hold on. I hear some more voices. Is that Seth MacFarlane? Lauren Mike, Shonda Rhimes, Aaron Sorkin, Chuck Lorre. What do you all want? Wait a minute, Clint Eastwood is there? Ron Howard? Scorsese? Tarantino? Cameron? Michael Bay? No, no, you must. I hope you're at a place that serves good breakfast because, there's a lot of people to feed. Okay, you want to know if one of you wants to make either a movie or a TV show about Ryan M., but it's not going to be about him. He's going to be the core of the lead character in the movie. So it won't be a biopic about, I know you, well, that'll come next. I'll be his agent. I'll negotiate. He's going to charge a lot of money for that. But we need a lead character. Okay. And you want him to pick, does he want this movie or TV show to be action, drama, fantasy, musical, romance, comedy, sci-fi, thriller, time travel, or any of those genres? Okay. Which director is he picking? Now, please, nobody feel badly that he doesn't pick all 25 of you and he only picks one. Okay. You want him to name the director and whether it's TV or whether it's movie, and you want him to say who's going to play the lead character based on his life. Not about him, but based on. Okay. All right. I tell you what, stay where you are, order a round of coffee. Ryan and I are going to pay for the coffee, right, Ryan? We're gonna send the
Okay,
rest.
we
We're
got
going to
this.
send a Zelle or a Venmo to the restaurant and tell them to pay for it, and we'll call you back in about 20 minutes. Thank you very much. Okay, bye. Oh, that was a long call. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get interrupted, but sometimes they just call in the middle of a show and
You
I
don't turn
have to
down
take
Spielberg when
I have to take the call, really seriously. Well, he was the first on the line. So they're going to make a movie based on you, but not about you. And so we need a title, we need a genre, we need a director, we need whether TV or movie, and we need to know who's going to play the lead. So, Ryan, you're up. What would you like to do? That's a lot of
My
questions.
gosh, this is really, really a hard question. But you
I'm
know,
sorry.
when those people want the info, you got to step up to it.
They're waiting. They're
Um,
waiting. And it's going to cost us a bundle if we don't decide soon because they're going to drink a lot of coffee. Go ahead.
okay, I just have one clarifying question first.
Yes.
So, the difference between a movie about me and a biopic, can you just explain that a bit? Like,
This is a movie like, let's say it's going to be a thriller and the character will be based on your life, your punk
okay,
band, and your movie. So the car
okay,
will be based on you, but it's not you.
okay. All right. Okay. So some pieces are coming into focus for me here.
Okay.
Okay. So, well, no, I wouldn't say like, so first of all, I don't know who directed Arnold Schwarzenegger's like 1980 movies like Running Man and
Let me
Total
see if I
Recall.
can find out. Okay.
That would be one possible route for the direction. I like, some action, some adventure, like a lot of chaos about the little guy, try to, fight for what's right and all that kind of stuff. So I like that energy. But
Arnold Schwarzenegger has appeared in 51 movies and has ventured into directing and producing. Who directed The Terminator? James Cameron.
James Cameron, he directed the Terminator, but like
Which other movie do
Total
you want to know?
Recall, that's my maybe my one of my favorite all-time
Total.
favorite.
All right, let me you keep talking and
Okay.
I'm gonna look. All right. So Total Recall director. Total Recall. You go. Keep talking.
Okay, so like another possibility for director would be a very different feeling movie, but a director who I've just been totally astounded by over and over in the last few years is Denis Villeneuve. So he did like Dune. Paul Verhoeven, that sounds very familiar. Okay, maybe Paul then.
He wasn't on the call, but we can put in a
Okay.
special
I
SOS
don't
to
think
him.
Villeneuve was either, but maybe we can maybe they got some connections. Who knows? These guys. Yeah, so Denis Villeneuve, like so he did Blade Runner, which is like I just wrote a cyberpunk novel. I wrote another one in the meantime. Like this is my energy. So like,
Mm-hmm.
big sort of massive, overwhelmingly huge cities. And like again, I like the little guy story, a little bit of vulnerability there
Mm-hmm.
and sort of like navigating that world of just overwhelming forces. So I like that. He also did Dune and some other ones. Okay, so a movie is definitely what I picture. Um,
Title. Title.
movie title. Oof, man.
Big City, Little Man.
That could work. Yeah, yeah.
I'm
I
listening.
like that, like, oh, how about this? Okay, yeah. So like high tech low lives.
Okay, all right, okay.
This is like
Sounds a
the
little bit like
cyberpunk.
Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, high
okay.
tech low lives. How
High
about that?
tech low lights. High tech low
Maybe
lights.
high towers, low. I don't know.
No,
Maybe.
no, high tech low lights. That's it could have a little bit of AI in there, a little bit of punk, a little bit of
Yeah,
sci-fi.
all that stuff.
It's getting there. Who would play the lead character who is based on your life story, but not you?
Yeah.
You can't
Okay.
do it. You can't do it. As movie
Okay.
star
Good.
as you
Good.
look,
I'll
you can't be in
spare
this
the world.
movie.
Okay. So I kind of like Ryan Gosling. I mean, we got
Ooh.
the Ryan connection. There's something I like about him. Like he's got just a little bit of like, first of all, self-humor and self-effacing, a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
that kind of element, but he's got a bit of grit to him. I mean, like he's like a Disney kid. So like this is like a very polished actor in a lot of ways, but there's
Yep.
something about him that's just got this like, I don't know. There's some soul. I think he keeps it kind of mass, but it sort of
I
bubbles through
love
the
it.
surface. So that would be cool, but
I love it. That's cool. So we have the title. And I've never asked this before. Do you have a name for the character Ryan Gosling's going to play?
character.
The lead. So would it be something with Mac Tech or something to do with Mac? It would be high tech, low lights. I like that. And
Okay.
so,
So
yeah.
I could see like what would be interesting. I'm like now I'm starting to blur into Blade Runner a little too much, so I want to kind of
Hmm.
like put some distance there. Okay, so I like an idea of a name that is first. Okay, so first of all, I was thinking like just like a digital tag, but they've done this a lot. They did it like Star Wars and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Like your name is
Yeah. No, no.
P131629 or whatever. Like
We
it's been
want a name.
done too many
Yep.
times.
Too many.
But then like so like there's really like sort of generic names, like I don't know, just sort of like common names. So I think what I'd like is like kind of a weird futuristic sounding name. So like
Ooh.
it would be like so like a name like say John, but it would be something that was different, like I don't know I'm embarrassed to try to like cook up exactly what it would be, but
John
some
a
like
Tropic or something.
permutation of that. Yeah, yeah, exactly, something like that.
John.
It was maybe fun, like maybe a little playful. Um, yeah,
Okay, we'll have to work on that.
yeah,
We'll get back to that. Okay, you want to know about mine?
yes, I most
Mine's going
certainly.
to be a musical. It's going to be a TV show. It's going to be an 8 week musical drama. It's going to be a comedy because I used to
Yeah.
do stand up. I tell people now I just try to be funny sitting down. Once in a while I succeed. It's going to star either Reba McEntire or not Bette Midler or Bonnie Raitt.
Yeah.
And she's going to be a redhead, and she's going to sing a little bit, and she's going to have an entourage of really funny actors, and it could be modeled on Reba McEntire's new series, Happy's Place, which is about a bar
Yeah.
that her father, who passed away, used to own.
Oh,
And she
okay.
takes over the bar and the cast of characters. The writing is really, really good. She doesn't sing except the opening, and it's really, really, I didn't like it at first, and it grew on me. It's
Yeah.
very, very clever. So mine would be something like a family or a team, not an office, somewhere doing something. It could be actually in a dance studio, or
Oh,
it could be at a comedy club, and it would be my character would be based a little bit on me and some of the songs that I mentioned to you in the opening of the show. So that'd be mine, and it would be called "She Works Hard for the Money," something like that.
I love it.
There
What,
we
so
go.
can you give me a sense, like what would an episode of this look like? Now I get to put you on the spot.
Okay, an episode of that would be actually, I've been thinking of writing a sitcom. I'm not going to tell, I'll tell you off air about that, but an episode of that would be something like we would go into the dance studio and a new person would come in and be looking to learn hip hop, or they'd be looking to learn hot Latin dancing. And then a couple of dance teachers would come out, one of them with a chip on his shoulder, but really, really good dance shoes. And they would start the lesson, and the question would be who would be the DJ playing the music, and how would the lesson go? And then the backstory of the character and the backstory of the dance instructor. And each week could be a different newcomer with a little bit of the entourage of the ensemble cast, if you will, who's
Yeah.
running the dance studio. So that would be something like that. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. What do you think?
Tell
Will
me,
you watch?
because I'm like really deeply unfamiliar with the world of dance. So
Hmm.
when you say like really good dance shoes, like what am I looking for here? If I want to go buy a pair of really good dance shoes.
Well, it used to be a couple $100 for dances. When I used to go to dance weekends up in the Catskills, and when I lived in New York years
Yeah.
ago, they would have boutiques. People who owned stores would come and bring their wares, if you will. So it'd be costumes for women, dresses and leotards and dance shoes. And we're talking at that time was well over $100 a pair for really good. Sometimes they had a little bit of a suede on the bottom of the shoe
Oh,
that you
interesting.
had to
Little
brush a
slide
certain
with that.
way
Okay.
so that it would grip the floor a certain way, but not grip the floor. So, yeah, and yeah, I think Comedy Club would be too dangerous to do a show about that today. There's just too much stuff going on. But I
Yeah.
think a dance studio could be a lot of fun. So,
That'd be fabulous. I would love that.
oh, you could watch. I'll watch your show if you watch mine. There we go. Let's
Perfect.
move on before I get in trouble here. Okay. Something you lost, broke, sold, or gave away, or just can't find that you
Yeah.
wish you still had. What do you think?
Okay, I don't know if I wish I still had it, but I wish I had it longer. Will that work for
Sure,
the
sure,
time?
of
Okay.
course, of course.
So my first car. So I worked so I got a job. I did washing dishes when I was 15 years old. As soon as I could feasibly have a job, I got one. I actually was delivering papers before that even. But anyway, so and I saved up. I got promoted to cook after a few weeks because the cooks kept quitting, so that was like an easy slot in there. And then and I saved my butt off all summer. Like I worked really, really hard and socked away pretty much everything. I bought 1980 Honda Accord for $750. So probably worth like a little more than that now because you know this was the 90s. This is a while ago, but maybe like a $2,000 car or something now, or a bit more than that. But anyway, bought it, and like I this again is on the theme of like needing to escape my hometown. So we would drive to every possible like Kamloops is very isolated. It's like about like 400 kilometers or like maybe 250 miles ish from like the closest cities and stuff like that. So it's really takes a long time. But we went to every piddly little like gas station town everywhere we could. drove the bejesus out of that car, and then it blew up after a month.
Wait a
So
minute,
that
blew
was
up.
tragic.
You weren't in it, were
It
you?
didn't it didn't like blow up, but like the engine went boom, and the car went jig, 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 and then like yeah, it was
Oh,
tragic.
oh
So yeah, my dad
my.
drove me out to collect the
Oh,
carcass later that day, and I listened to Smashing
oh,
Pumpkins as we were as he actually had to
oh,
push me down the highway in his minivan. He pushed my sad little car to the off ramp so we could go get it towed back into town to bury it. But anyway, it was
oh.
I could have spent a lot more time. There were other I'm sure we would have found other gas station towns to visit.
There you go. Oh, I have a story about something I lost. I have a couple of them. One was a car, but it's a sad story. But I'm miraculously still alive. I should have
Okay.
been killed in the car crash, but I'll tell you that offline. I've told it on the show several times. I had a little keychain. I'm an October girl, October baby, and I had a little thing on a keychain, a little metal thing that hung that was engraved so that the metal was punched out of this charm, if you will,
Okay.
Ryan, and you could run your hands over it, and
Mhm.
and it talked about what a Libra is, good and balanced, and just words, but it had a lot of words on it. The charm was about this big, about I don't know, not, it was hanging on the keychain, and one day I was at work, and I looked and it was not there anymore, and I was sad. And
Yeah.
I looked everywhere. And I looked in the car, I looked in the office, I looked in my purse. I didn't know where. I thought I had lost it. And about three days later, I was working in Eugene, Oregon, and I parked in a big parking lot at this place where I was a programmer analyst, I told you.
Mhm.
And it was a very sunny day after a rain. And for some reason, after I got to work and I started my whatever I was coding that day, I went out to get something I had left in the car. I
Mhm.
don't know why. And as I walked to the parking lot, the sun glinted on the rear bumper. It was an Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme Brougham. I had bought it used. It was in gorgeous shape. It was a really elegant car, just gorgeous.
Mhm.
And it had a blue jacquard velvet upholstery, and it was very custom inside, a little stripe down the side. I can't remember what color it was, light blue probably. And the sun glinted off of the bumper, which was a metal bumper that curved up and around. You remember the old
Yeah.
bumpers.
Yeah.
And as the sun touched that bumper, it sparkled and gleamed, and something caught my eye. I must have needed to go into the trunk a couple of days before, and this little charm with the Libra fell off the keychain and it was nestled on the bumper, protected by the
Oh,
curved metal. And it
wow.
had been there for days and it had
Uh,
not fallen off. It was in the middle, so it wasn't near the end. So the bumper must have curved around. So there was no way it would have fallen out. But it caught my eye. I saw something sparkle and I looked and there it was, winking at me and saying, "Hi, I thought you lost me. I'm still here." So that was my lost and found story. And I don't think I have it anymore. It's been a while, but
yeah.
I love that story, remembering, and I just knew if things mean something to you, chances are they'll come back.
That's amazing. That's
There,
amazing.
there you go. I'm going to stop the sound sharing here now so that we could do some visual sharing because we are
Okay.
going. Let me make sure we're up to that part of the show now. Yeah, I have a couple of this part is called this say what stories. Now, in order to do this part of the show, Ryan M, you need to say that the way I said that. So it's say what? Can you say
Say
that?
what?
What? A little higher.
Say my voice doesn't go much higher than that.
That's okay. I'm putting you on. I'm teasing you. That was lovely. Say what? That's what it is. So I'd like you to go first. You're welcome to hit the share button if you want. I have three
Okay.
stories. Why don't we do? You want to share yours visually, or just you want to talk? What's your pleasure?
Uh, let's see. So I guess I can't probably share a video. That's probably a bit much, isn't it?
You could.
There's a little video. It's like I can just describe it. I think it's actually kind of
Okay.
like
All
hilarious to
right.
describe it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the first one that I sent was somebody's like a doorstep surveillance camera recorded for the first time ever a meteor strike. Meteorite strike. So it's like the most nothing video, right? Like most of the time this camera is looking out at just like whatever's in the neighborhood or whatever. So anyway, and then like all of a sudden this little puff and this little explosion, you can see like where the thing impacts, but it's this teeny tiny meteorite and just for the first time just very just I guess we have a world with a lot of cameras, and somebody's doorstop camera
We do.
caught this.
How did they
And this little
know?
sound is hilarious because like you think like this thing has been traveling in like the
Yeah,
solar system, like in the stars,
forever.
wherever for like millions and billions potentially of years, and then like all of a sudden it's like that's its inglorious little end, but it's kind of glorious too because it's like this
Very
hilarious little sound. It's like
Now,
there it
did
is.
they know that it was going to be a meteor that day, or it just
I
happened
don't
and
think so. I
they just
just
looked at the camera and
caught it.
said, "Hey, that's a
Yeah,
meteorite."
I guess so. Maybe it was motion activated or something like
Yeah,
that, or
must have been.
something
I
like that.
get I get birds flying into my blink camera sometimes, and it'll go off at 4:30 in the morning. Who's on my front porch? Oh, that bird or a really big bug will fly right up to the camera, and it sets off. Doesn't wake me, but I see it in the morning. Okay, why don't you do your second story? That's cool.
Okay. So the next one, I think I can share this one. I think I have
Okay.
it. Okay. So I'm going to share just very quickly
Yeah.
my.
Hit the share and go screen. Yep. Here we go.
Okay. Ooh, I'm
Ooh.
gonna close that. So yes, so this is really neat. So in my book that I showed very briefly before, I had this idea of like these huge 3D printed cities, like basically concrete printed cities that became the sort of like, housing's expensive and stuff like that. So became this way to sort of solve a lot of problems for a lot of people is printing these massive cities. And it's just slightly pushed in the future. So anyway, I went looking. I'm like, I bet they've already like I knew that there were sort of 3D printed houses, so like small structures, but this is actually the tallest 3D printed structure in the world currently, and it's this little tiny village in Switzerland.
Mm.
And it, there, I think they said 15 people still live in this village, but this has become this highlight of like architectural tourism for them. But it just fascinates me. And then if I can scroll down a bit and show, like, I don't know
Can
if you
you
can
X that
see.
advertisement on the right? Can you
Oh
cross
yeah,
out that?
certainly.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, much
Uh,
better. Go
yeah.
ahead. Just
I think they were referencing like old kind of Gothic. You can see what it looks like inside the.
wow.
Yeah, so I just think this is like fascinating. I think there's so much potential for this because like, and especially like, if people end up trying to build something on the moon or people try to end up building something on Mars, like there's going to be all these like this kind of technology be incredible because you don't have to bring a bunch of materials. You can just kind of use
Sure.
the
What
the
is it made
dust and stuff.
from? Is that a kind of a concrete? What
Yeah,
is that?
it's concrete. It's like a special kind of concrete that they use, and they can basically like add it on and just layers. And so it's like this, like they print it by layers, and it just kind of fills the thing out. But I don't know. I thought that,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, while you're sharing your screen, you want to do a third one?
Yes, I'm going to stop sharing, and I think
Okay.
let me just pull up my third one here. Oh yes. So the last one was, I guess maybe I'll share it too. I'm not going to like. There's not like a lot to look at in terms of
Okay.
visuals, but at least it gives you something to look at. Well, so you don't have to look at me. Okay. So
Hello
here
to
we
YouTube. Somebody's watching us. Hello, hello. Middle of the
Hi,
show. You can
YouTube.
catch up. Okay, go ahead.
Awesome. Okay. So I just thought that this was really neat. It was a story about a company I think in California that had basically designed and built an entire like orbit ready satellite in like 13 months. And like usually like this is like a multi-year, many year process. I talked to somebody actually who worked on the James Webb Space Telescope. She was involved with
Hmm.
designing the petal pattern, that beautiful, amazing kind of hexagonal pattern up there. And it was like that was like 10 years before the thing launched. Like they planned these things for decades sometimes. So anyway, this company had used this. And I thought one thing that was fascinating about this, and again, it's like my love of science fiction and cyberpunk, is that they,
Wow.
they said that they had designed
Show us.
2,300 possible, yeah, 2,300 possible designs, and they did it in 10 minutes
Not
using AI.
surprising. Yep. Let's see the picture again. I want to see the picture. It's
Oh yeah.
beautiful. The one at the top? Yep.
There we go.
Oh
Yeah.
my
So
goodness
that's what they
gracious.
landed on. But yeah, isn't that incredible? Because like you would think like they would probably like iterate designs and have, like multiple like levels of design processes and things like that. But if you can put in parameters and then say like work within this and then, crank out something that's, completely safe and orbit capable and all this stuff. And like they generate 2,300 possibilities in like this like, this incredibly small amount of time. So I think there's a lot of fear like AI is going to replace humans and all this stuff. But like this to me just shows like some of the possibilities. Like this is like
Yep.
actually really kind of exciting and interesting because like there's so I think that humans will be able to like again, like back to the freedom quote that you started with, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
there's a kind of like liberating element there. So yeah, so I thought that one was really neat too, and just the like the speed of
Freedom's
this.
just another word for nothing left to lose.
There you
Thank
go.
you. I loved your stories. I'm going to share my three. They're a little bit odd. Say what? The first one is a very say what. So let me do a screen share here. Let's see. Instead of a document, I've never shared just a document, but I think I'm going to just share the screen. So let's go. And here we go. So here we go. Okay, now let me get the music player out of the way here. All right, can you see this? Uh,
Yes.
this was just posted recently. I think it happened, yeah, it just happened a couple days ago. TSA, in I don't know which airport it was. Let's see where it was. It was Newark Liberty International, New Jersey, in the States. Asked passengers to stop hiding animals in weird places. A woman had stuffed two turtles in her bra, and they found her. She did it at Miami International, and here's the story. Okay. The agency shared photos of the reptiles. First of all, one was wrapped in saran wrap, and one was wrapped in, it looks like medical bandaging. Okay. And
Okay.
this is when they freed the two turtles. One went into its shell, and the other one, this is okay. On July 22nd, the TSA shared photos of another desperate plea to passengers to stop hiding animals in your body. Advanced imaging technology, there's our tech, alerted agents to the woman's, shall we say, torso. The passenger removed two live turtles from the alarming area. These are not, oh, this was at Miami. Okay, not surprised. Not the first time turtles was struggled. Previously, Ryan, on March 7th, a TSA body scammer went off at Newark Liberty, as I said, in New Jersey, and there was something in the man's pants. He had a live 5-inch turtle wrapped in a towel in his pants.
But specifically about turtle smuggling.
I don't know. We have to find out. The TSA's Federal Security Director from New Jersey, Thomas Carter, said, I commend our officer who conducted the pat down in a very professional manner in an effort to resolve the alarm. I believe this is the first time we have come across someone who was concealing a live animal down the front of his pants.
Okay.
So there you go. So
I'm
that's the
gonna
first.
I'm gonna go back to my punk days here and say I kind of commend the passengers for the audacity to try this out.
I know. And let's go to the second one. This is a fun one. Narwhals, the whales, they are using their tusks not just to snag food, but to play with potentially their food. They have spiral tusks. Can you see that? Okay, let me make the picture a little bit bigger. Spiral tusks, and they're keeping their foraging. They're looking for fish for dinner. They're keeping them in front of them and playing with them. This is Arctic char. We don't see it in the picture. They're using their tusks to push the Arctic char in front of them to keep them at the tip of their tusks. And they researched and found out that one narwhal was bold and the only whale to hit, push, and manipulate the fish and made maneuvers to block the other whales from getting close to their fish. Seriously, the Arctic char has been warming the Arctic Ocean has been warming nearly 4 times faster than the rest of the globe. So they are watching this behavior and thinking it will help with shifts in ice patterns, prey availability, food, of course, and environmental challenges. So interestingly enough, the narwhals, and this was observed by the Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute at Florida Atlantic University. Interesting?
Fascinating.
They kept the fish 30 centimeters in front. What were you going to say?
I was gonna say like I've been watching nature shows with my little one of my little ones, and the thing that fascinates me about mammals is just how much they play. They play nonstop. They're just so playful, and like so,
Yep.
I like I'm not like. First of all, I've never heard of this, and it's incredible. But like in a way, like it checks, like it makes sense. Like with other things that I've seen, like like cats, like they play constantly, and bears, and like they all just like
Mm-hmm.
constantly like attacking, but it's gentle, and then yeah, it's fascinating. So like
Yep.
I guess
They
yeah
didn't say whether they eventually speared them with the
yeah
tusks and ate them. That wasn't in the report, so I'll have to get back to
okay,
you on that. Here's my third
yeah
one. I just found this last night. It's from Culture. I get a nice newsletter. This is from July 8th. Excuse me. The Wizard of Oz is being blown up by AI for being shown on the Sphere Have you heard of the Sphere in Las Vegas?
Yeah. It's
With
incredible.
thousands of screens. So this will be the first classic movie screening starting next month, August 28th, of The Wizard of Oz. This was on the show CBS Sunday Morning. It was taking the existing movie and projecting it onto the Sphere's 160,000 square foot wraparound LED screen. James Dolan, who is the Sphere Entertainment CEO, said a 2,000 person team is creating a new experience. They're using AI to increase the resolution of the old film and expand the footage beyond the frame of what was actually shot. For example, through AI, a grainy close up of Dorothy becomes richly detailed. And
Huh.
through the process called outpainting, though it seems like magic, we see the rest of the Scarecrow, the Yellow Brick Road, and the Mountains of Oz, I guess, in the same scene. In other cases, expanding the frame means creating new performances from existing actors. That might upset some people.
Mm.
Despite these changes, our standard was not to modify the film at all, but to try and bring you into the film as if you were in the studio when it was shot. So here's just a picture. Interesting. So anybody with tickets to go see The Sphere on August 28th, you might get to see The Wizard of Oz, the AI version. Interesting.
That's incredible. Yeah. I'm curious, are you a Wizard of Oz fan?
I grew up watching it, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Wicked.
So this
Wicked is on TV now, and I haven't watched the modern versions. I'm not
yeah, no, I
interested
haven't
in
seen
those, but I love some of the quotes and I love
yeah.
the story. It
But
was
that
one
is
of
yeah, beautiful. Yeah, the outpainting. So yeah, you would have it like wrapping around. And I'm like one this is kind of a weird thing. Maybe it's just my writer like vibes, but like I'm curious how the director would focus it, right? Because like you've got this scene, so it's like, is it still kind of like in the front is the main stuff happening, or does it move around to like behind you sometimes? Because the sphere, it's like it's all the way around.
it's
So
all the way around. Very,
yeah,
very interesting.
curious about that.
So, last point.
Yeah.
Thank you. A young man, could be your son, I don't know how old he is now, comes to you and says, "Hey, cool dude, Mr. Ryan M. Melsom. What do I need to do to grow up to be a cool dude like you with so many passions and so many interesting experiences and so much to talk about to somebody like Bonnie D on her show? How could I aspire to be not follow exactly what you've done, but make my own path as a cool dude in the future years?" What would you say? What advice would you give, Ryan?
Um, oh gosh. Well, I think I would probably say a few things. So first, I think first of all, above all, like I think compassion is like it's the key to everything really. Like so I feel like compassion like contains so many other things. It contains like empathy, it contains sympathy, it contains like all this
Mm-hmm.
huge like variety of emotions, right? But I think that to really like go somewhere in the world, you need to be able to connect with like people. And I think compassion is like an incredibly good way to connect with people.
I like that.
There's so that's what I would say for one. I would say curiosity, like that is just like build your
Mm-hmm.
curiosity and explore and go nuts and like we'll support in any way we possibly
Yes.
can,
Yes.
but like it's just like yeah, just keep yeah, there we go. And
Okay,
be
keep
curious.
talking, keep talking.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think that that one is just incredibly important. And then I think that, the other one is just like determination, grit. So like, my kiddos are in karate and they actually inspired me to start doing karate. But like one of the
Ooh.
things about karate that I learned going through the journey is you show up on the hard days. You show up on like and then every single other day is easier. So like tonight I have to go to karate and it's going to be a class because it is like hot here today and muggy and like I know once I get in
Mm-hmm.
that dojo it's going to be like out of control. But anyway, like you show up for those days or you show up the day where you're feeling blue and you push through it and then you keep going and then you build that muscle. You build that muscle and then so yeah. So I would say those like compassion, curiosity and just determination and you'll go places because the world is going to be who knows what it's going to look like and it's unpredictable, so it's not about like I think building like one specific skill, it's about building like incredibly adaptable versatile skills.
I think
How's that?
so. That's great. And what I tell people is I have mentored some young women across my career from time to time. And I say, I use a line similar to something Leonard Cohen wrote. If
Okay.
you see a little bit of light coming through the window, see what's on the other side. It might be an opportunity that could change your life for the better. If you see the door is just a little tiny bit open, push your foot in and open that damn door and go and see what's on the other side. I have had so many careers and so many paths I never planned on, I never dreamed of. I was shy growing up, and now I have 55, almost 60 different shows. I still call them radio. I've started over the years and hosted, produced, created, and I just love talking to people. But I was very shy growing up, believe it or not, Ryan.
Yeah.
So
Same
find
for me. Same for me.
yeah, find your passion might not be something you know about right away. It might not be a beat band. It might not be having this vintage car. It might be cooking in a restaurant and making your own restaurant someday. It might be drawing pictures of armor and moats and knights and swords and making a movie about that someday. So explore. I think I love the compassion you mentioned, but I'd say curiosity
Mm,
and embracing possibility.
mm, mm.
Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Ryan, it has been a pure delight getting to know you. Thank you so much for this. I'm going to put the music on and stick around. We're going to take some pictures. Let's see if I can get this to play. Oh, come on, come on, come on. You Here we go. I have the right music? Yeah, let's do this. Okay. Let's dance a little bit on the way out. Thank you so much. You are a very, very cool dude. Don't go away.
All right, Saucy Dave. All right.
Don't go away. Thank you to Serge Hoffman for singing my song. My drums are in the other room, otherwise I do this. Here we go. Bye bye to social. Thank you for watching, whoever did, and we hope you will enjoy